So I have a video on my channel where I'm dumbbell incline pressing the 120 pound dumbbells and I get it for 5 reps. I also have a video doing the 115 pound dumbbells for 6 reps. So I've been at this strength level for around a couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years. And I've sustained it basically only working that movement once or twice a week. So, you know, if you want to get to that strength level, it might seem kind of like an impossible feat because at a lot of gyms, those are the heaviest weights. And in your mind, it's kind of like a psychological block. Like, oh, those are the heaviest ones. Like, it's too hard to get to that point. But in all honesty, like, as long as you program and you eat correctly, uh, the process will do what the process is going to do, right? And you will get to that strength level. So, basically, I'll just get into it. So the way you're going to want to program it is you're going to want to, whatever strength level that you're at right now, um, you want to figure out what weight that you could get only about 5 reps with. So let's say, you experiment and you find out that, okay, you can do 5 reps with 60 pounds in each arm. So the 60-pound dumbbells on the incline press. And of course, we're using full range of motion, completely proper form here. Touching the dumbbells at the top, all the way down, bringing them out wide, full range of motion, all the way at the bottom. So you want to find a weight where you can do about 5 reps. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to program this movement into your workout program twice a week. And you're going to want to have once, basically, let's say Monday and Thursday. So that way you have a 3-day rest period in between 2 of the sessions and then a 4-day rest period in between 2 of the sessions. So Monday would be the first workout after your 4-day rest period because, Thursday and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It doesn't have to be Monday and Thursday. It could be whatever days you want. But what you would want to do is that first day after that 4-day rest period from doing this movement, you're going to want to do 4 straight sets with that working weight. So let's say with the 80-pound dumbbells, you can only get like about 5 reps. You're going to want to do 4 sets with that weight on the incline dumbbell press. And you want to take longer breaks because this is a rep range where it's kind of like it's about in between strength and hypertrophy, where, the lower the reps, the more you're working on strength, the higher the reps, the more you're just working on that raw hypertrophy. Although past a certain point, once the rep range gets high enough, it just becomes like endurance. But 5 is a good range to work with. And what you'll see is that when you take longer rest breaks, you're going to be able to hit higher amounts of reps for each set. I know that like all of these bodybuilding, gurus online who are jacked up on steroids, they tell you to like take 1 or 2 minutes between sets. Well, the problem with that is not ideal at all for gaining strength. And if you're natural, like in order to gain muscle, you're going to have to gain strength. There's no way around that. And if you want to take 1 or 2 minute rest periods, that's more of like an endurance workout, honestly. So you want to make sure that you're taking about 8 minutes in between sets. Even 10 would be good, because you want to make sure that you're fresh for each set. And even then, what you'll find is that on your first set, you might get 5 reps. On your second set, you might get 5 reps. But on your third set, you'll probably only get like 4 reps. And then on your fourth set, you might only get 3, even taking those longer rest periods. So what that tells you is that like, even with the longer rest periods, like you're still working the muscle. And another thing that the longer rest periods will do is it will demonstrate to you that you're working the muscle, because if you're not really working the muscle that adequately, then a longer rest period would allow for you to just keep hitting the same amount of reps every time, right? So if you're still going lower on the reps after a long rest period, you're actually hitting that movement correctly. So that's what you want to do. On that first day, you're going to want to do 4 straight sets with the same weight, okay? Then for your next workout, so remember the first one was after the 4-day rest period. The next one is going to be after the 3-day rest period. And what you're going to do is you're going to do 4 sets again, but you're going to do sort of like a reverse pyramid. And then you're going to end with your working weight again. So you're going to do, your first set is going to be your working weight. So you would be doing, like in this example, the 80 pounds again. And then, let's say you get 5 reps, whatever. And then for your second set, you're going to drop the weight a little bit. And you're going to basically want to hit a rep range where you're doing a little bit more reps. So like maybe 6, 7, 8 reps. Okay, so maybe you go down to 75 pounds, right? And then for your third set, you're going to want to hit a rep range where you're hitting, between like 8 and 10 reps. And so maybe like, 70 pounds or 65 pounds, somewhere around there. And then on your fourth set, you're going to go back to your working weight. So you're going to go back to 80 pounds. And what this does is the first set, you're at your freshest, you're at your strongest. So you're doing your working weight, and it gives you an idea of like where you're at with your working weight. And then for your last set, you're ending the workout with that same working weight. I'm a true believer that like your body adapts to what you do first and what you do last the most. And in the middle is more just kind of like filler, but like it's still important. Like it still adds to the workout and adds to the muscle stimulus. But like the first and last part of the workout is what your body recognizes most. The consciousness of your actual physiological being recognizes the first and the last thing that you do in the gym the most, or the first and last, set of whatever exercise that you're doing the most. So you're going to want to do this, okay? Over time, what you'll find, as long as you're eating enough food in between sets and you're getting adequate rest, what you'll find is that you're going to be able to do more reps, okay? So after the 4-day period, you'll find, one day you can hit 6 reps with the 80s, and then 6 reps again, and then 5 reps, and then 5 reps, right? At that point, you're going to want to up the weight a little bit. So go up to 85 pounds, so like you finish the set, finish that workout the way it is. So when you find that you have that strength increase, I mean, you can go up for your, to 85 pounds for the second set. But I mean, it doesn't really matter because the amount of muscle you have is the amount of muscle you have. So you could just continue doing 80s, the 80-pound dumbbells, and then finish your workout. And then the next time that you go into the gym, then you can do the 85s. And then over time, it's just rinse and repeat. So once you go up to the 85s, you're probably going to go back down to that 4 or 5 rep range. And if you increase the weight, and let's say you're only getting 4 reps, but the weight that you had before that you were using, you got like 6 reps, you could stick with that new weight because eventually that 4 reps is going to turn into 5 reps. Okay. So that's going to keep the progression going. Don't overthink it, basically. And you just rinse and repeat this process over time. Eventually the 80s turn into 85s, the 85s turn into 90s, 90s turn into 95s. And it happens a lot quicker than you think. Like if you're at a strength level where you're using the 80s right now, you could get to the 120s in like a year and a half. Especially if you're using proper form, because if you're using proper form, you're really developing that tendon strength and that joint strength and the stabilizer muscle strength, grip strength, forearm strength, so on and so forth. So this was kind of a quick rundown of it. Don't overthink it. Don't be intimidated by the heavy weights. Another thing too, okay, never drop your weights. Always, take it off the rack, sit down, get the dumbbells up, and then do your set. After you're done with your set, don't drop the weights. Go back down to your shoulders and then place the dumbbells back onto your lap, get up, and then re-rack them. What this does is it allows you to develop that grip and forearm strength over time, so that you will never need a spotter to help you get heavier dumbbells up. Like if you go on my YouTube channel, you'll see I just grab the 120s and I do it myself. And then I re-rack it myself. I don't drop them. And the reason is because if you develop that grip strength and forearm strength over time, and that ability to just take the dumbbells out from the very beginning, when you first start lifting, you're just going to develop all of the strength involved in the unracking and re-racking process. Unracking and re-racking the dumbbells is a part of the workout. That's something that people need to accept. People don't want to accept that, but it is a part of the workout. So don't sell yourself short, because that's all you're doing. When you get to a strength level to where you can actually do the movement itself with pretty heavy weights, but you need someone to help you get the dumbbells up, or maybe you can get them up yourself, but you drop the weights. What that means is it's too heavy for you. You can't handle them. So you need to lower it and really develop the strength to be able to get them up on your own, and then get them on your lap on your own after the movement, and then re-rack them on your own. Once you do that, and then rebuild that strength, then excuse me, still getting over this sickness. Then you're independent in the gym, and you don't ever have to rely on anybody. That's the beauty of dumbbells, is that you don't have to rely on other people, a spotter, anybody to help you get the weights up. That's why I love dumbbells. Barbells are great, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to really go all out, you're going to need someone to spot you, especially if you're using heavier weight. Dumbbells, you don't need to do that, as long as you develop your strength the correct way. So hopefully this helps you. Anyways, have a good day. Thanks for watching.